the $1,000 question, because there's not a busier person walking the face of the earth than a teacher. You have 25, 30 kids in a class. You're supposed to teach these state and federal mandated learning criteria. You've got kids from different socioeconomic backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, learning capacity, lots of things going in, and teachers are just terribly busy, and you've got to understand that. The way that LEAPS fits in is that you can't pull behaviors from learning. Learning itself is a behavioral process. Learning is understanding something and applying it. And to help kids learn, you have to be able to teach them how to learn. And so actually changing the learning environment gives the teacher the best chance of teaching the academics, which falls outside of that purview oftentimes. And so teachers are busy, yes, no doubt about it. The question I would ask a teacher is, how much time do you spend investing in telling kids to sit down and be quiet and pay attention, all those reactionary things? If you could turn around and reinvest that proactively, and from that proactive investment, kids are sitting down more often and paying attention, that's the payoff. How do you do it? LEAPS does it by integrating actual real life scenarios into the teaching of these social and emotional skills. So it's not a divestment of the classroom, it's an investment in the classroom. The in vivo, the role play, the scenarios, the discussions that are had are meant to be impactful as part of the classroom process. You also have the lessons fully aligned to the Common Core. So as a teacher is looking at that integration, they can see how a LEAPS lesson will align with, a reading standard, a listening standard, communication, all those different standards, and it is grade specific. So as a teacher's putting a lesson together, it gives them actually a little more flexibility of how that lesson can integrate that social and emotional process into the academic lesson, which is more apt to engage the kids, but an engagement from a standpoint of something they're more apt to buy into. One last point on that. When kids begin to fail academically, and I don't mean just failing grades, but when they begin to wane from an enthusiasm standpoint, and think about this, find a kindergarten teacher, any one of them, ask them if they've ever had a kid come in their classroom and say, boy, 15 years old, I'm out of here. They don't do that. Kids come in, they're excited. They've got school supplies and a new lunch box, and they're so, they practice homework before, they're excited about learning. But we've got a lot of kids in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th on up that say, I don't care if I pass or fail. Well, not caring is a defense mechanism. It becomes easier not to care than to care and continually fail. So what you've got to be able to do is help re-engage kids, and it's hard to engage kids at a point where failure has been consistent. It's hard to see the immediacy of gratification from academics alone. Take a kid who's struggling in school, try to get them excited about algebra. It's not easy. Not that it's not important, but it's not easy. But if you can help a kid learn social and emotional and cognitive type skills, there is an immediacy of impact. It impacts their social standing, it impacts the way they feel about themselves, the way they make friends, their place in the group, and kids come back for that. And if you can integrate that into the academics, you can actually begin teaching them social and emotional skills as the hook to bring in the academics then as the meat once they have become more socially acceptable, because the classroom is a social construct.